class. There we go. Right, we have got YouTube up and running and on Facebook now. Perfect. Okay, welcome everybody. Let's take you through our workout today. So we've got 3 rounds of exercises. You're going to need a little bit of space. I've got a mat nearby me just to help me make sure that I feel a little bit more comfort on my hand when I go down to the floor. And also we've got some lying down exercises as well. I'm going to do every single repetition with you. I'll give you options of progressions and also regression. So if you are looking to modify the exercise at any time, I'll help you with those as well. But let's make a start. Let's just start to open up your arms nice and wide. Start to just create a little bit of freedom in the shoulders. Yeah, and then let's take into some rotation. So just pivoting off the feet, moving around from side to side. Just creating a little bit of movement here. And what we're looking to do is just prepare the body for the workout we've got coming up. In today's workout, 3 rounds. We do each round twice. That way then you can learn the exercises and then start to really work hard if you want to. I have a lower body exercise, a core exercise, and a upper body exercise as well. So lower, core, upper body, and each exercise. Let's just take down to a little half squat, lowering your hips down towards the floor. During the workout, what we're going to do, 45 seconds, 15 seconds recovery in between. That should just about give you enough time to change position and take you through the next exercise. If at any time you feel it's too much, take a breather. That's absolutely fine. If you want to get after it a little bit more, we can definitely do that and give you options. And you can modify the exercises at any time as well. Let's take a little step back lunge, lowering the back knee down towards the floor. Feel my heart rate beating a little bit quicker. Certainly my zone gut is kicking on a little bit more. What if you guys track your workouts in terms of intensity? Great way to make sure that you get the workouts working hard. Good. Okay, let's just shake that out. All the technology kicking off today then. Okay, let's take you into an imaginary bit of skipping here. So just starting to push off the floor, get the arms circulating around. What I'm looking to do here, get your heart rate up. I say today is not focused on a lot of fitness work. Today is more focused on strength. So we've got some exercises where I'm going to almost encourage you to work slowly, but with control. So that way then you can work on a little bit more tone and strength work today. Good. Okay, let's take you into a little punch combination. It's going to be a jab, a cross, jab, jump 180 degrees, jab, cross, jab onto the opposite side. So just keep alternating these punches. 3 punches, and then a little half rotation over to the opposite side. As we're doing this, I just want a little bit more movement from the foot. So pivot on your feet as you throw the punches. Also, just start to mobilize through the shoulders as well. So just keep everything moving here. Good. Last one's here. Good. Now just shake yourself out. Pivot the feet to one side. Drive your knee up nice and high. We're going to do 3 knee strikes, then pivot to the opposite side, and then drive your knee up high here. What we're looking to do is just to create this dynamic movement, because our first exercise is going to be a lunge, and it's a push-off lunge. So I've got the option of progressing this exercise, but this movement that we're doing now, these knee strikes, is going to help prepare you exactly for what we're going to do. Okay, first exercise starts in 10 seconds, so let me show you what it's going to look like. Deep lunge position, push your knee up nice and high, step back. So this is your first exercise for 45 seconds. Let's get moving. Lower your back knee down towards the floor, then drive it up nice and high. Big range of movement here. Let me tell you what the option is going to be. So you can push off the floor if you would like to. Now you've been working just over 15 seconds doing this movement. So if your body feels ready, then start to push off the floor. However, if you feel like you want to stay on the floor, that's absolutely fine. Now you're going to notice we're just doing one side. We're going to do this for the whole time period. Then I'm going to take you down to the floor for a side plank, some press-ups, and then we'll do this exercise again, but on the opposite leg. So remember, we've got 2 circuits of each round. This first circuit is just going to be that one side. So let's get you ready for a side plank. You might like to get out a towel, a mat, maybe a jumper just to help give you a little bit of support. We're going to stack the feet on top of each other, elbow underneath the shoulder, reach yourself up into a side plank position for me. Just hold that nice strong, reaching from your elbow all the way up to the fist in the air. And we're going to stay on one side, which means if you get tired at any time, I'd like you to actually stop, reset yourself, and then come back up. Especially if you start to feel that your hips start to sag a little bit. So if your hips are starting to lose their height, it's not a problem at all to just stop, reset yourself, and bring it back down. Okay, so just reset at any time and then come back up. Much better to have quality over the quantity. So if you're just holding that same position and it's not necessarily improving your core, we want to challenge you and just keep that nice height up. Good, excellent. Okay, now the next exercise is going to be press-ups. Now because we do the first round and each round with 2 circuits, the first press-ups I'm going to do them on the knees with you. If you want to go for the advanced option straight away, go onto the toes, but we'll meet you there on the second circuit with these as well. So, onto your knees, hands around about shoulder height, and then from here, I want you to lower your chest to the floor, push yourself away from the floor through the hands. As you're bending at the elbows, your nose goes down to the floor. So think about your chest and your hips and your nose all moving down. What we don't want to see with press-ups is it's just the head moving up and down and the shoulders don't move as much. So really think about lowering the whole body to the floor so you keep control and get strong as you push yourself out of that position as well. The last couple of repetitions. Keep breathing as you're doing this. Okay, let's take you through that push-up lunge. This time over to the opposite side. So what we're going to do, lunge back into position, push off the floor, but remember you've got the option of just keeping it in a low impact option. So starting in 3, here's how it looks like. 2, 1, let's get moving. So drive that knee up nice and high. If you feel like you want to push your fitness a little bit more, you've got the option of taking it into a hop. So I'll let you know when we're halfway through on this 45 seconds, and that's when you might decide you might want to join me in pushing your heart rate up a little bit more with a higher level of conditioning work as well. Let's go for this now. So adding that little hop at the top, so I push the foot into the floor and just elevate the foot off the floor so I get a little bit more height. So drive that knee, keeping a powerful range of movement here. You're doing a great job here. 5 seconds to go. Keep that push off the floor, get it nice and high, and just shake it out. Let's take it down to a side plank. Again, 45 seconds on this one side. So it's the second circuit of the first round. Let's lift you up into that strong side plank position. In 3, 2, 1, reach high, hold strong. Now, if at this point you start to feel any fatigue at any time, just stop, reset the spine, relax with the shoulder, and then re-engage all the muscles as well. So I like to do this every kind of 10 to 15 seconds. There's a lot of science that supports doing short bursts of high intensity work is much better, even for muscular activation, than holding a long plank for a long period of time, where you're almost relaxing the muscles and just trying to hold the position. So I quite like to hold a 10-15 second plank, a few seconds break, and then go back into it as well. There's a lot of science that recommends this. One of the leading ones is a guy called Dr. Stuart McGill. He does a lot of work on core activation as well. Okay, last exercise in this first round is press-ups. You've got the options of press-ups on the knees or onto the toes, so completely your choice. See how hard you want to make the workout. I'll start off on the full press-up. I'll go to my knees to show you halfway through, and then come back to the toes. So let's get moving on these. Again, lowering your chest to the floor, push away from the floor through the hands. The options are going on to the knees if you'd like to. And you can feel free to change in between these at any time. It's got to be your workout. Back up onto the toes will look like this. Keep it strong. We've got the last 10 seconds of work. And relax there. Good. Okay, give those arms a little shake. Now the next exercise we're going to do is called a split squat. So I'm going to stay on the mat and just lower my knee down towards the floor. What we're going to do here is a static movement, which means no movement. So it's just a straight up and down position here. My back is going to be as straight as that shin is going to be as well. So think about being in an elevator, so straight up and down position. When you're doing these movements, just about focusing on thinking and scissoring those legs together. So if I maybe told you to think about your front foot being pulled backwards and your back foot being pulled forwards, and you scissor these legs together. If you were on a couple of plates, you know, the paper plates, and on a laminate floor, you would actually slide your feet together because you're putting that much force through them as well. That's a nice way of thinking about it. Strong leg position. These are going to make those leg muscles burn a little bit. We've got the last couple of seconds, and relax. Okay, let's take it down to the floor. I've got a little bit of abs for you here, so remember it's a lower, core, and upper body sequence in each round. These ones you're going to reach round to the heel, back to the center, and then over to the opposite side. Let's get you moving. 45 seconds of work. A little heel touch as you bend from side to side. Now, if you feel that you want to make this exercise a little bit easier, just rest down in the middle. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you might reach a little bit further down your foot. If your neck feels like it's got any tension coming through it, feel free to support the back of your head just with a little bit more comfort there as well. Now you've got 15 seconds to go, so whichever modification you're doing here, whichever progression, or whichever range or depth you're doing, just stay with it. Just over 5 seconds to go, and we'll come back and do this exact same exercise again, and relax there. Okay, this time we're going to do a plank to toe reach. So we're in a press-up position. From here, you're going to reach towards your toe, back into a press-up position, and then over to the opposite side. Okay, starting in 3. Oh, no, now let's go for this. So reach for the toe, bring yourself back to that strong press-up position. So this is creating some good mobility through the hip, but also every time that you push to reach your foot, the other hand is the one that's going to be underneath the shoulder. That's one that has to work to get you into that position. So keep thinking about pushing through the hand. You get a nice bit of mobility, and you're strengthening that big range of movement as well. Doing a great job. Keep moving. Keep reaching here. Let's go. Last 3 seconds. And relax there. Okay. Now we're going to go for those lunges. So it's a split squat. So it's another lunge position on the opposite side. So from here, lower the back knee down towards the floor. The shin is nice and straight, like your spine is as well. And it's just an up-down movement on the spot. So just literally keeping still. Try and think about scissoring those legs together to make them work hard. Just because we're not coming off the floor and doing plyometric exercises today, doesn't mean that I don't want you to work with a little bit of strength and power. You still need to move with purpose here. So working hard as you lower your hip down by lowering that back knee to the floor, and then scissor your legs together as they come up. So there's equal weight through both legs. That's a really important feature. We don't want you just having all the weight in that front knee. What that tends to do is it gets people to lean forwards. So try and keep your weight equal between both legs. So it's a straight up and down position. Okay, let's take you down to the floor for the heel touch side bends. So onto your back, hands down to the side. You reach around to touch the heel, back to the center, and over to the opposite side. So you've got a few options like we discussed in the first circuit. If you want to support your head, you can do. If you want to reach a little further, then that's great. If you need to rest your spine down each time before you come back up and back to the center, that's fine as well. Whichever variation you're doing here, it's your shoulder blades off the floor. That's important as you lift up, and also the direction that you're lifting is upwards with a little bit of a bend side to side. Try to keep a little bit of distance between your chin and your chest. It allows you to have room to be able to breathe, but also maintains the spine's position as well. Last 5 seconds to go. Keep yourself moving, keep working here, and relax. Okay, plank to toe reach again. So into that press-up position. Then from here, once you've got your strong press-up position, reach towards your toes as you push through your hand. That's the force to allow you to get into this deep position. Let's get moving. Big range of movement. Keep it strong. As the hips go up into that little apex, that's when you start to reach through with the hand. So make sure the strength comes from the hand that is on the floor, and then come back into that strong plank position each time. If I said you had a press up here, you would be able to, because your weight has transferred into both hands each time. Last 5 seconds of work to go. Then what we're going to do is enter that third round. Let's go. Okay, we're going to keep the mat on the floor. Let me show you this lateral lunge switch. So what I'm going to do, get it to sink down to a low position. Foot goes over to one side. Now I'm on a mat, so I've got the distance, and I know that I can then start to reach from one side to the other. If you haven't got a mat, and you haven't got a target, find something, just a mark on the carpet or on the floor, or just something inside the room where you can always have as a target, so you start to reach from side to side. I want you to try and stay low, and to drive this movement, and keep it in a really strong position. I'm going to just start to move my arms here, allow me to keep a little bit of rhythm going here. This is going to get your heart rates up a little bit more. So 15 seconds, try and create that big range of movement if you can. From here, we'll be down to the floor for a little bit more core. And then the last exercise is going to be a bear crawl as well. We've got some tough couple of exercises coming up. Let's give them a go though. Diagonal runner is your next exercise. So what this one looks like is coming across knee to elbow, rest back down in the center, over to the opposite side. Here is your progression. It's where the foot doesn't actually come back down to the floor. So I'm going to show you the slightly easier option on our first circuit of this third round. So just bringing knee and elbow across the body. Try and let the chin and the chest lift upwards. And then elbow aims towards the knee and then back down. "20 seconds of work together. Exhale as you crunch in, inhale as you lower back down, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Okay, last 5 seconds. Keep those reps going. I'll do every single one with you. Just keep working with me. And relax there. Okay, next exercise is a bear crawl. So we're going to literally move forwards and backwards. Now, if you don't have much space, your bear crawl literally could just be a couple of steps. But if you've got a little bit more space, let's travel and use that space as well. Let's get you up into that press up position. So your hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are under the hips for this position. Start to walk yourself forwards and then backwards. So again, you're pushing through your arms. That gives you the upper body workout and also stabilizing through the legs. Keep a nice steady rhythm. There's no rush. I'd rather you work with control and let your back stay straight and still, rather than shift your hips up high, where you might be able to move quicker, but with less muscles working, and it's just harder work to operate in that almost poor postural position. Okay, good work. Okay, let's do those exercises again. So, lateral lunge switch, middle of the mat or in a markers. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to start to reach from one side over to the other. 45 seconds of work, as many repetitions as you can. Let's get low and let's get moving. So reach the foot out. Try and create as much distance between your feet as possible and move them as quickly as possible. It is going to get your heart rates up, so just keep moving. Try and stay low for me. I want the legs to get the workout. As much as we're not chasing the cardiovascular work, the heart rates will go up. But I do want your legs to feel the strengthening of the conditions. So keep working. After the last workout we did on Tuesday, my legs were burning after doing those that third round. If you didn't check out that video, scroll back to Tuesday's workout this week, and you're going to see the exercises in that third round. They definitely got me. Okay, loosen it up a little bit. Stay back down to the floor, the diagonal runner. So this is where knee to elbow was our starting position. This time what we're going to try and do is extend the leg fully into that rotational movement. Let's get going. Big range of movement, reaching your elbow towards your knee, extending the leg if possible. But if your leg doesn't feel comfortable extending, then just shorten it and you can rest it onto the floor. If you need a breather anytime, that's fine. Stop, reset, and then go again. Don't give up on me, just have a little pause and a reset. You can do that as many times as you want to. Even if it's in between every 1 or 2 repetitions, just keep that next repetition coming to me. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax there. Okay, bear course to finish off with, team. Let's get you ready for these. So it can be a small distance that you travel, or it can be a slightly longer distance. You pick the intensity you want to work to. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, on the ball of your feet. Let's start moving. Just keep that low position. Your back stays nice and straight. I always try and encourage people to look at the gap in between their hands. And that way then, if they keep looking down towards the floor, it helps keep their back nice and straight, parallel with the floor. We don't want the hips going up, and we don't want the head looking towards the toes, or directly in front of you either. Keep going all the way up to down. Just coming down to your last 5 seconds, I'm going to take you through a few stretches, and relax there. Good work, okay. Let's stay down on the floor, we'll do some stretches down here. So sit yourself up nice and tall. Let's bring the soles of your feet together. Just get a nice stretch through the inner thighs. You can wrap your hands around your feet if you can. Now if this is too much of a stretch for you, the alternative would just be doing one side at a time. So you've got the options. If you are doing on one leg, just swap that over for me so you can stretch out the other side. And you can see I'm just rocking my legs side to side, just so they get a little bit more length in the muscles, especially after doing some of those movements as well. It's good. Okay, let's take you into a glute stretch. So legs out extended, one foot comes over your thigh, I'm going to turn sideways for you. And then what we're going to do is bend your knee and bring your chest closer towards where your shin is. And that way then you start to get a nice stretch around the outside of the glutes and the outside of the legs. You feel your heart rate is just coming down. Extend that leg out, swap the feet over, and again, keep bringing yourself chest closer towards your shin. So push into your hands just to help get you into that position. Excellent. Okay, extend that leg out. Let's just turn you over, and we're going to go into some up dogs and down dogs. So we're going to stretch through the hips to begin with. So lifting your chin and chest up, you can rest your knees onto the floor. I just want you to feel a stretch through the front of your hips here. So peel your shoulder blades backwards, allow your eyes to gaze upwards, either up towards the sky or towards where the ceiling and the walls meet. Now pushing through your hands, lifting your knees off the floor, push your weight backwards, readjust your feet if you need to. We're looking for your legs to be straight, but if you've got tight hamstrings, you might have a slight bend in the knees. Then from this position, just pedal the feet backwards. So the heels lower down one at a time. So just pedaling the feet here, just start to bring a little stretch through the calves. Now just settle yourself and see if you can develop that hamstring stretch a little bit further. Yeah. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take your foot and swing it up towards the same side hand. So I've got my left foot up towards my left hand. Physically move the hand if you need to move the foot. Reach your left hand up into the sky, push the back knee away, and just try to grow and lengthen every single part of the body here. So from the distance of your head to your heel, and from hand to hand. Bring that hand down inside your foot, back to down facing dog, over to the opposite side, and again, reach up high. Push the back heel away, reaching from head to heel, and from fingertips to fingertips here. Good. Now from that long, big stretch, bring the hand back down, back to downward facing dog, rest your knees, a little bit of the child's pose here. Walk your fingertips forwards a little bit more to get a stretch for your back. Good. Now just slowly roll up for your spine, and let's take a standing quadricep stretch. So in your standing position here, take one foot into the palm of your hand, have a slight bend in the standing foot, lengthen up through your spine here. Think about pushing your foot into the palm of your hand so you get a nice stretch for the quad. Think about extending your hip forward so you get a stretch there. Excellent. Now just give yourself a little shake. Let's swap it over to the opposite side. Slight bend in the standing foot. And again, lengthen up through your spine. Good work, everybody. Okay, shake it out there. Thank you very much for joining me for this Matrix Fitness lunchtime workout. My name's Matt. If you've been checking out the workout, we have again got it at 5 o'clock this evening if you'd like to join us then. If not, we look forward to hopefully seeing you next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7:45 in the morning, 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.